Hello everyone, this video will fully explain the best Warframe leveling method in the game. There's other videos on this, but most of them use high level mods, forma, and they potato their frames. My method requires much less and will be foolproof for people MR8 and above who have the minimal amount of gear and are willing to learn. Let's get right into it. First, I need to explain the mechanics behind how we're going to get our Warframes so much affinity in a short time. The mission we'll be doing is an exterminate mission with a Kuva Bramma, and we'll be going through it as fast as we can while trying to stack up a stealth affinity multiplier. The stealth affinity multiplier will stack from killing unalerted enemies. You'll get 1 stack per unalerted enemy killed, and each stack is 100% bonus affinity, stacking up to 5 times for a max of 500%. The stacks last for 30 seconds, refreshing on every unalerted enemy you kill, and you'll lose the stacks if you kill an alerted enemy or an alerted enemy attacks you. Enemies are in an unalerted state until they see a Warframe in their short vision, hear gunfire, see the corpse of one of their allies, and all enemies are permanently alerted if one of their allies sets off an alarm at a control console. The way we are going to build stealth affinity stacks with the Kuva Bramma is by using Banshee's Helminth ability Silence, and her augment mod called Savage Silence. The ability is an aura that emits from your Warframe and makes it so enemies cannot hear your weapon. When enemies first come into range of Banshee Silence, they also experience a 2-second stun, and when you add this augment mod on, enemies are not able to become alerted during that stun. The mod says nothing about this mechanic of keeping enemies unalerted, but that's just Warframe for you. Also, this mod does not change them from an alerted state to an unalerted one. If they're alerted before they are affected by silence, the stealth affinity multiplier will be lost when you kill them. This is the most important mechanic of this leveling method. If you don't kill the enemies during the 2-second stun window right when enemies come into range of silence, then they will most likely become alerted and you will lose your stealth affinity multiplier. Now that I've explained the mechanics, I'm going to show you the gear we need. I'm going to keep it at a minimum in case you just want to level a frame for the mastery rank, then get rid of it. And also this will help show how it's possible at MR8 if you have the gear needed. The first thing we need is Banshee's Helminth ability Silence. To get the Helminth segment, you must be at least MR8 to be able to buy it from Sun at the Necrolisk on Deimos. Then, you'll be able to subsume Banshee into it to unlock her ability for all frames to use. You can infuse Silence over any ability on the frame you're leveling, and I like to keep it consistent and always put on my first ability. Then you can just assign the ability to whatever configuration you want. For the Focus School, we're going to be using the Unairu Focus School. It's very important because the first node you unlock is called Poise, and this gives you up to 40 seconds of knockdown immunity when you go in and out of your operator. This will allow us to not get knocked down by our Kuva Bramma without using any mod capacity. For the build on the frame, use an aura mod that matches the polarity of the mod slot. The best aura mod is Enemy Sense for more information on the enemy's position, but you're not always going to have this, so I'll use something else. Then we throw on an unranked Savage Silence, because leveling it does nothing for what we're using it for. And the last mandatory thing is some range. I'm only going to put on Overextended, but you can put on more range mods if you have the capacity. I like having about 24 to 28 meters of range on. For me, it just seems to work best. If you can fit any duration, go ahead and do so, but again, if you're MR8, you probably won't be able to do so, so I'm not going to. The first mission will be a little tough since the ability hasn't ranked up yet and has low duration, but it's still very doable. If you flub the mission, you will still get some levels on your frame, which will give you more capacity and more duration on the ability, so add some mods and keep trying. Lastly, if you have mod capacity, you can throw on Prime Sure-Footed or a combination of Sure-Footed, Fortitude, and Power Drift for 100% knockdown resistance, so you don't have to use Poise from the Unairu Focus School. Then on the Kuva Bramma, this is the build you'll need. I highly suggest getting a primed Firestorm over Firestorm, but Firestorm works fine enough. Vial acceleration is very important so you can spam more Bramma shots before enemies come out of their stun. Also, Eximus units can still hear your Bramma through Banshee Silence ability because they're immune to CC, so we throw on the Hush mod. Lastly, if you have them, feel free to throw in any upgraded versions of the mods I have here, and a weapon arcane such as Primary Merciless. For the pet, we will be using the Carrier Sentinal. Its ammo case mod will give us an extra shot for our Bramma and some more ammo regen. This is much needed after the AoE nerf from the veilbreaker update. Also, throw on Vacuum to pick up more ammo, and Animal Instinct for some enemy radar. Having some amount of enemy radar on your build is very important. Okay, I'm going to voice over me actually leveling a fresh frame to 30. I have to do it after the fact because my keyboard's loud as can be and my mic picks up way too much. The exterminate mission we do is on Telesto because it's the best tile set. There's one on Sedna, but it's super annoying and I don't do it, even though it probably does give more XP. So as soon as the mission starts, you get your poise on, throw on silence, you fall and don't slide like a dummy. Then you start killing your enemies. And here I'm not paying attention to my silence ability, so I don't have the stealth multiplier on all these enemies. I use it there. And then I think, again, I forget to use the silence ability. Yep, on that guy, he saw me. at the right when my ability ended. But I use it here. I'm just looking around the room, looking at my map, seeing the exterminate cursor, and just shooting bombs in that like general direction. And you have a Bramma, so that's all it really takes. And here I realize I'm out of ammo and need to reset my ability, so I just kind of like take a second, hide from the enemies. You should definitely take ammo and energy pads with you to save you when you flub up like that, or enemies are like really spread out. And here I noticed behind me I missed an enemy somehow, and I have to go back and kill him, because otherwise he would have set off that alert console right next to him and ruined the entire mission. Here I cannot find the enemy. That was under that catwalk. So now I just kind of reset. Start getting my multiplier back, get back in the groove of murdering. These big rooms kind of suck because enemies are really spread out, which makes it hard to keep ammo on your Bramma and also kill them before they're out of their stun. See, when they're really clumped up like this, I get a ton of XP. I'm like at 12, 13, 14. There was a Nox there that didn't get affected. There's 2 big rooms in a row. Super unlucky. There was a Nox back there that didn't get affected by my silence. I don't know if he was an Xmas or not, or Nox don't get affected, but he ruined the multiplier. That Xmas wasn't looking at me, luckily. This is really good to show that when you're like running through hallways, you can catch up to the enemies even when they're still in their stun. So you can just bomb them when you're right on top of them and be fine. You don't have to lob super far down the hallway, but lobbing far down the hallway gives you a head start on killing enemies. Even when the mission's over, you should still be killing enemies too, because you still get the XP from them, obviously. See, rank 27 in 2 minutes 23 seconds. It's beautiful. That's with a booster though. If there's an affinity booster plus a an event, like a double affinity event, you literally just gotta do this mission once, and you're to rank 30. You can form up frames so fast. So since this is a fresh frame, we got a bunch of range on our ability, so we got to change that. Just put on less range. I like about 26 meters. I don't know why. I have no proof on why it's good or bad, but it's very nice. And then just throw on any amount of duration you want. I'd keep it close to 40 seconds because then I only have to pay attention to my poise or my ability. Because if they're both at 40 seconds, I just gotta look at one and then use them both. So back to Telesto. If you're formatting a frame, your ability level won't change. So you can just keep restarting this ability and formatting stuff. That guy started the mission looking right at me. That's awesome, thank you. And then it's all going to be pretty much the same, except I'm using my ability a lot less. One little trick with the Bramma is if you realize that your poise is out but you already have a shot charged, you can turn into your operator and it'll shoot your shot and then also start your poise. It's one little thing. I think I do it in here once or twice, but I definitely do it in the last mission, I know, but I think I forgot to point it out. So I'll see if I do it in here. That was kind of like it. I'm running out of ammo, so I used an ammo pad. So there's not much more to talk about, but I'm going to leave it in here just so you have a lot of examples of what to do if you're trying to learn how to do this mission. Here my monkey brain's only looking at the red cursor, so I went back to the Lich, or the Kuva larvaling, because he had a red cursor on him. And you can see in the top right that I'm already 30. I didn't realize yet. I think I realized it here. But once you're 30 on this screen, not the like mission progress screen where it shows your bonus XP for when you finish the mission, you can just leave now. And you'll see when this loading screen's over that I am level 30. Lastly, without a booster, it should take like 3 runs of this mission to level frame to 30, which is still less than 10 minutes, so which is pretty good. This isn't the easiest thing in the game, it'll take some practice, but once you become proficient, it's much more fun than losing your brain cells leveling up on Hydron. Just keep at it and don't get frustrated if you aren't getting the results I got right away. You should just play the game and be happy with your improvements. I think that's all I have to share, so if you have questions, leave them in the comments and be sure to like, comment, whatever you desire, and subscribe. See ya.